I discovered my husband's secret on our 5th wedding anniversary. He was the most hated man in my family, the jobless failure I defended every single day. But the truth? It was hidden in plain sight, a billion-dollar truth nobody saw coming. For 3 years, my mother called him a useless burden. My brother spat when he walked by. My own sister said I had made the biggest mistake of my life by marrying him. I always defended him, but a part of me started to wonder if they were right. The day of our anniversary dinner arrived, and my family planned a big party. They wanted to celebrate my failure of a marriage one last time. They were ready to laugh, to mock, to humiliate him again. However, something was different this time. A phone call changed everything, and I never knew the truth until I heard his secretary's voice. "My name is Sophia. Let me tell you about the day my world turned upside down." My husband, Alejandro, was always quiet. He spent his days reading books and cooking simple meals. My family hated him. "He has no job," my mother shouted at every dinner. "He is useless," my brother added with a cruel laugh. I loved him, so I fought for him every day. I told them he was kind, that he treated me well. But they only cared about money and status. The day of our anniversary dinner, my mother invited the whole family to a famous restaurant in the city. It was on the top floor of a tall building, a very exclusive place with a beautiful view of the skyline. She said, "We will celebrate, Sophia. We will celebrate your choice." But her smile was mean. I knew she wanted to embarrass him in front of everyone. Alejandro was very calm. He wore his old, simple suit. "Are you ready?" he asked me softly. I took a deep breath. "Let's go," I said. The elevator ride to the top felt very long. My heart was beating fast. When the doors opened, I saw my whole family sitting at a long table. The terrace was beautiful, with soft lights and the night sky above us. But their faces were full of cruel excitement. They were waiting for a show. The dinner started badly. My brother, Marco, raised his glass. To my sister, he said loudly, who chose love over money. "What a brave, stupid choice." Everyone laughed. My face got hot. Alejandro just smiled politely. He held my hand under the table. "Don't worry," he whispered. "It will be okay." But it was not okay. My mother stood up. "Sophia, dear," she said, her voice sweet like poison, "we all worry about you. Living in that small apartment, with a man who cannot even buy you a nice dress." She looked at Alejandro. "Tell me, Alejandro, what do you even do all day?" The table went quiet. Everyone stared at him. This was the moment they were waiting for. I wanted to scream. I wanted to protect him. But before I could speak, Alejandro's phone rang. It was a loud, clear sound in the quiet restaurant. He looked at the screen. His face changed. It was a very serious expression, like a king receiving bad news. "Excuse me," he said calmly, and he stood up. "I must take this." He walked towards the balcony, his back straight, his steps confident. My family watched him go, confused. "Probably a debt collector," my sister whispered, and they all laughed again. But I felt a cold fear in my stomach. What was happening? Alejandro was on the balcony for 2 minutes. When he came back, he was different. He looked taller, stronger. He walked straight to the head of the table, where my mother was sitting. "What are you doing?" she asked, annoyed. He did not answer her. He looked at the whole table. "I want to thank you all," he said, his voice loud and clear. "Thank you for showing me what true ugliness looks like." My brother stood up. "What did you just say?" Alejandro smiled. "For 3 years, you called me a failure. You called me useless. You humiliated me every chance you got." He looked at me. My eyes were full of tears. But I stayed because I love Sophia. Then, the elevator doors opened again. A woman in a sharp, expensive suit walked in. She was holding a leather folder. She walked directly to Alejandro. "Mr. Chairman," she said, "the papers are ready." The room went silent. No one breathed. "Mr. Chairman," my mother repeated, her voice shaking. The woman looked at her. "Yes. Alejandro here is the chairman of Orion Holdings. This restaurant building, this penthouse, it is all his." My family's faces went white. They looked like statues. My brother sat down slowly, his mouth open. I looked at Alejandro. He reached out his hand to me. "I am sorry I hid it, Sophia," he said softly. "But now you know the truth." And then I understood. The man they mocked was the man who owned everything. The silence was louder than any scream. My mother could not speak. My brother could not look up. My sister had tears of shame in her eyes. Alejandro took my hand. "Let's go home," he said. We walked back to the elevator. As the doors closed, I saw my family still frozen at the table. The lesson I learned that night is very important. Never judge a person by what you see on the outside. A quiet man can be a king. A simple suit can hide a powerful heart. And true wealth is not about money. It is about loyalty, love, and respect. I chose Alejandro for his kindness, and he was kind until the end. His wealth was just a surprise. My family learned a hard lesson about pride and cruelty. I hope you learn this too. Always be kind, because you never know the truth about someone's life. Thank you for listening.